Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'll just give you all a minute to get connected to your audio, and then we're going to get started. So, hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming
Hello.
along to join us. Tonight, I am here, Chelsea McGill, with my lovely friends Nat and Teresa, who are going to introduce themselves in just a moment. And we are here tonight to bring you our Varoma cooking class. Nat, Teresa, and I all love our Varoma, but we know it is a bit of an underutilized attachment. So I would love if you could put in the chat and let us know whereabouts you're zooming in from tonight, and are you using your Varoma attachment? I'm trying to say it's been a long day. Are you using your Varoma attachment, and whereabouts are you from? Pop it in the chat. The girls will put a message in the chat for me so you guys can find that chat box. If you see me turning this way, it's because that's my other computer where I can see you guys. So there we go. We'll pop it there so I can see. And pop it in the chat. Let us know, where are you coming from, and are you using your Varoma at the moment? So a big thank you to each and every one of you for joining us tonight. We're really excited to be here. We've got 3 great dishes for you, 2 mains and a dessert, all cooked in the Varoma. So we are happy to have you and would love if you could ask as many questions as possible using our chat box. We are going to ask you to stay on mute tonight just because there are quite a few people on our class, and when we come off mute we can get quite a bit of background noise, which can be a little bit distracting. So we would love if you could interact with us as much as possible using that chat box. The more questions you ask, the more you're going to get out of our class tonight. So for those of you that don't know me, my name is Chelsea McGill. I'm a Thermomix consultant. I have been a consultant for about 5.5 years now. I joined Thermomix all those years ago as somebody who had owned a TM31 and a TM5, and I had heard the TM6 was coming out, and I thought to myself, if I buy another Thermomix, my husband might just divorce me. So my lovely consultant gave me an opportunity to come along and earn a Thermomix, and I said 60 days and I'm out, done, that's it. And she was like, that's fine. 5.5 years later, here I am. I've had a few different roles with Thermomix over the years, and currently I am a consultant, which I absolutely love, and I'm very happy to be here. I am from Bunyip in Victoria, which is kind of like the edge of southeast Melbourne and the start of Gippsland. So I am going to be back shortly, but we are going to jump over to Teresa, who is going to introduce herself and start showing you our first dish of the night.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, like Chelsea said, thank you so much for jumping on tonight. So my name is Teresa Majorano, otherwise known as Thermoterea on Instagram. And I have a very similar story to Chelsea. I was only joining to earn my second TM6 because it was that amazing. I was on earn 4 and I was gone, but here I am many, many years later. I'm also a team leader for consultants all across Victoria. So I'm a customer who loves my Thermomix, and here I am. So if you've ever considered it, maybe you can be like Chelsea and I and come on board and see what happens. Anyway, look, the Varoma is something we often hear as consultants that people are not using. So this is why we thought tonight would be such a good opportunity to share some of our favorite recipes. Tonight, I am making the chicken Caesar pasta salad, which is sworn by for many people. So it is on cookie dough. We're going to start by making our dressing. Alrighty, so you can have a look at both screens. It says to place a jug on the top, and we're using a light olive oil. So that is something that you could definitely use with your mayonnaise and things like that. So something very similar. So we're adding 120 grams of light olive oil. I did notice in the chat that a lot of people are saying that they have not been using their Varoma. It is honestly such an amazing tool to get that layered cooking and really get the most out of your machine. There we go. There's 120.
Teresa, I'm going to
Next.
interrupt you for 1 second, if that's okay. Just to
Yeah, of
anybody
course.
who is on a mobile device, I've got both of Teresa's screens spotlighted, but if you're on a mobile, you might only be able to see one. So if you want to change your view, just swipe your screen across and you'll be able to choose which one of T's screens you want to watch. If you're on a computer, you should be able to see both of them.
Ah, beautiful. Probably don't need to see my face, probably just need to see the screen. We're adding 50 grams of Parmesan cheese and 1 garlic clove. Now I've just got that mashed up, which is fine, same. Remember, when you are using a cookie dough recipe, it is just a guide. use anything that you have in your cupboard or your pantry or your fridge. Any close enough's good enough. That's usually my vibe. All right, we are grating that cheese. 9 to 10 seconds. I'm sure as Thermomix owners, we'll definitely take advantage of making our own dressing. So we have full control of what's going in it, and something that I really love doing. So there's our Parmesan cheese completely grated, as we know. Now, hot tip from Chelsea McGill says to insert your butterfly whisk, but we're actually going to not do that. Chelsea swears that it ends up creamier without it. So this is the beauty of Cookie Do. Have a go, try out the recipes, and definitely work them towards suiting you. The other hot debate between Nat, Chelsea and I was anchovies or no anchovies. So we decided, Chelsea and I, no anchovies, and this is more so the family would eat it at my end. But you can definitely add anchovies at that point. We are adding in 50 grams of mayonnaise. Now, in the chat, throw in the chat if you have ever made mayonnaise in your Thermomix. It is definitely one of my favorite things to do because there's nothing better than Thermomix homemade mayonnaise. We're adding some lemon juice. And this is going to be such a beautiful dressing. Much better than any jar that you could buy at the shops, that's for sure. So 20 grams of lemon juice, thanks to the neighbours at the back for their lemons. Who doesn't do that? 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard. Pressing next. And lid on. So really super simple ingredients. Everything I pretty much had at home, and I could whip this up in no time. So that's going to mix for 1 minute. How's the chat going? Oh, lovely mayonnaise in the family. Yes, Jenny, we love our mayonnaise. Oh, a few yes to anchovies.
See, I told you.
I couldn't bring myself to do it.
It makes the Caesar dressing. It literally, you can't taste it. It just gets the hit of salt and flavour. Trust me, try it one day. Just do half.
Oh,
The
First time I went to make this recipe, I bought the anchovies and I thought, I'm going to do it. Everyone says it adds flavor. And I opened the can and I looked at them, I gagged and I threw them in the bin. And I was like, no, not going in my food.
Well, everyone has to have a go at it after we finish the class and let us know to anchovy or to not. That is the question.
It's
I've
like
got
the
them here.
pineapple,
I
isn't
had
it?
them ready. It was a hot debate. We'll just open it up so you can see what that looks like.
I won't tell you that I add double then.
What do you add? Double anchovies?
Yeah.
Oh, do you? Well, there you go.
Yeah.
And look, anchovies are fantastic for you. Like all the health benefits are amazing, but I just can't do it. So we'll just see. The next step is we're going to slowly add our oil. And this is a very similar scenario to what we do with our mayonnaise, all right? So we're going to, our machine's running, and we're going to slowly pour through the hole in the mixing lid. Now, on your mixing lid, there's a little gap between your measuring cup and your lid. So if you haven't done a mayonnaise before, you probably haven't seen that before. And what happens is the oil slowly drips through underneath the measuring cup. So we slowly add that, and we're just emulsifying and creating that dressing. And mayonnaise is even easier than this. It is so quick and easy. It's something I definitely do a lot of in summer. Potato salads all around. So the Thermomix is doing all your hard work for you as you are adding in your oil. We've got 14 seconds. It does say prolong the time by another minute if necessary, just to make sure that it's all combined.
Teresa, we're losing the fight here. It's Nat and the rest of the audience against us. They're all saying yes to anchovies. We actually considered leaving Nat out of the cooking class after she told us that she loved anchovies.
We really second-guessed our friendship on this one, didn't
Nasty. Luckily, our friendship trumps anchovies.
Yeah,
girl.
absolutely. And there we go. We've got our dressing there.
Yum. I'm so making
And I'm
that.
going to transfer that into a bowl. All right.
Perfect.
So
Look
normally
how creamy
we would
it
place.
is.
So
You're right,
creamy.
Chelsea. Yep.
Creamy, creamy, creamy. All right. So the next step, once I've just put that in a bowl, and I'd put that in the fridge once I pass over to Chels. So that would go in there. All right. Mayonnaise dough. Dressing done. Clean and dry mixing bowl. I'm just going to give it a quick rinse. I've got 300 jugs, but all right. So next step is I'm adding boiling water to my jug. All right, so I'm just using the kettle for this one, but you can of course boil your water in your Thermomix. So I'm just watching that scale, making sure I've got enough water. There we go, 1203, pretty good. All right, I'm adding in my pasta now. I did a online shop. It was waiting at my door after school teaching today. And the one thing I needed, which was spiral pasta, was not in the bag. But I'm using penne, which is same. So 300 grams. There we go. Okay, now it's time to use our Varoma. So we're popping our lid on the top. And this is where the layered cooking happens. So we've got our pasta happening at the bottom and in our Varoma. Our first layer of our Varoma has our eggs for our salad. All right. So I've got 6 eggs sitting there. So another way to boil your eggs as well. And then the next part is our tray of chicken tenderloins. All right. So they're seasoned, ready to go. And they're just going to sit on the top up there. All righty. So we've got our pasta cooking at the bottom. Then we have our layer here with our eggs and our chicken at the top. And this is why your Varoma is such an amazing part because, sorry, my lights switch off, because you can do everything at once. Alrighty, so we've got everything there, 500 grams, all seasoned, ready to go. And that's now going to cook for 9 minutes. So the pasta's going to cook and that's going to cook. Alrighty, so all at once. And that makes it much easier to do a big cook up when you can do it all at once. Thank you, Charles.
I'm talking away, realize I'm on mute. Thank you, Teresa. My video's gone off for some reason. There we go. All right. So, put my computer out of the way. And hello
put
again.
The link in the chat. Beautiful.
Yep, I need to spotlight myself. That would help.
Yeah. We can't see
left
you.
there we go. That's better.
Perfect.
All right. So hello everybody back again. And as tonight I am making a camembert chicken. So I'm going to go into my weekly planner where I've got my recipe waiting, ready to go. You can see here in our weekly planner, our cranberry and camembert chicken. Has anybody made this recipe before? It is delicious. This is one I made a couple of times. I reckon it's been a few years since I made this recipe, but it was something that we loved. And then there's just so many amazing recipes on Cookie Do. It's quite easy to forget about some of them. So we are going to click our Start Cooking button. Actually, I did want to quickly show you guys. When we scroll down, you've got your portions here on the TM6. And this recipe you can click on and you can change your portions. So this one started at 8 portions, but I don't need 8 portions of this dish. So I've actually gone down to 6. So you can make it 4, 6, or 8 portions there. Hit apply and that will change your recipe. It will scale down your ingredients and change your cooking time to make it more or less, which is awesome. There are quite a few recipes that are pre-scaled on Cookie Do. If it's not, you can do it in Cookie Do 3.0 if you have that in your created recipes, which is amazing. So we're going to hit that Start Cooking button and I'm going to add in 1 garlic clove. Now, do we have any garlic lovers in the room? Are we?
Yeah.
What's one? Garlic lovers? Yes.
What's one? Chelsea?
Always double it. Nat, she speaks some wise words now. Always double it. So 2 cloves of garlic going in now, not before.
Now it does want 30 grams of echalot, which I didn't have, but I did have quite a bit of brown onion that I need using. So I'm just going to use some brown onion. So it wants half an echalot, which is going to be around 30 grams of brown onion. So I'm going to pop that in, which is just a very small portion of brown onion. Then we've got 20 grams of butter. Just got some little cubes of butter there. Oh, 21 grams, close. I am just going to find a measuring cup because I just realized I do not have one. Story of my life. My measuring cups.
That's right, Tess. She said one garlic clove means 3 in the chat.
One garlic clove means 3. That is absolutely correct.
Absolutely.
And then we've got 3 seconds and going around to speed 7 on our garlic. I love to think about how long that would take to cut by hand. But for you Thermomix owners in the chat, how long would it take you to chop onion and garlic by hand? Like 3 seconds. I've owned a Thermomix for about 11 years now, and still every time I look into the bowl after we've chopped something, I'm still like, wow, it's just so fast. So we're going to scrape down those sides and then click that next button, and it does want us to pop our simmering basket on. Here I was thinking I was fully prepared. Missing measuring cups and simmering baskets. So we're going to pop our lid on, taking our measuring cup out and simmering basket on top. Hit that next button, and we've got 2 minutes on our timer, 100 degrees and speed 1. So I did see there are quite a few of you that aren't using your Varoma at the moment. So I'd love to know, what is it about you? What is it about the Varoma that makes you not use it? Is there something particular, or like a reason that you're not using your Varoma? I'm always really interested when I chat to people about this, because I feel a lot of people don't utilize their Varoma. I personally love it. I think I've used mine 4 times this week already, because I just think it's such a great attachment. 1, it more than doubles the capacity of your Thermomix. So if you're feeding a crowd, amazing. 2, it's just so versatile, as you're going to see tonight from our different dishes. Like I'm doing more of like a meat and veg meal. Teresa's got her like pasta salad, and then Nat's doing a beautiful dessert. So I love how versatile the Varoma is as well. It really just gives you so much more variety in your Thermomix.
I also find, Chelsea, that I will pop my Varoma when something else is cooking. So
yes,
if I want to add extra veggies to a dish because I feel like there's not enough, I definitely just put my Varoma at the top, throw a few veggies in there, and then there's a bigger increase of veggies in my meal or whatever it might be. So you don't even have to follow cookie doing necessarily. It's definitely something you can add to any recipe. Well, not any, as long as the temp is high enough. You can throw it at the top and add a bit more, a little something to whatever dish you're making, basically.
Absolutely. Even adding extra proteins, if you're wanting to beef up a recipe with some extra chicken or meat of some sort, like just being able to add it in the Varoma when you've got something cooking in the bowl. As T said, as long as you're at 100 degrees or higher in your main cook time, you are able to put your Varoma on top and just steam something in it. So whether you want to add more meat or more veggies, anything at all can go into the Varoma, and you can utilize the heat that's already in there. So you're saving yourself money because you're not running a gas stove as well as your Thermomix, or you're not having all those different pots and pans going, which I love.
There was someone in the chat talking about how they don't want to clean them. What I use is definitely in the mix shop. We have and you can do it with baking paper at home as well, but they have the oval shape. So and they have them with holes and without holes. And I pop them on if I'm doing like dumplings, bao buns, all that sort of stuff. And that definitely helps a lot. And the best thing is just get it under the sink straight away.
Love that. Yeah. Good tip. So we have sauteed our onion, garlic, and butter down there, and we're going to add in 50 grams of dried cranberries, which I've got here. I had this conversation with someone on Instagram today. They said, oh, I don't like cleaning my Varoma, so I haven't been using it. And I said, do you put it in the dishwasher? And she said, I didn't realize that I could. So if you are unaware, your Varoma is absolutely dishwasher safe. It will come out nice and clean if you stick it in there. So if you don't like cleaning it, that is a great way to go about it. I am all about ease, so mine always goes through the dishwasher. I find I don't tend to put... Oh, you go, T.
Sorry, I was going to say, someone in the chat has said that they found that some of their dishes don't cook through properly with their Varoma. Make sure that you have a space in the center that allows the steam to kind of go right through. If it's too covered and it's basically blocked off, it will make the steam won't cook through. So just make sure that you've left some space for that steam to circulate and cook your food at the top.
Use your spatula and just kind of push your ingredients around like so, and make sure you've got some of those steam holes showing. If you are cooking something that is quite solid, the other thing that you can do is sit your butterfly whisk in your Varoma and pop the meat or whatever it is on top. That's going to allow really great air circulation as well. So,
I didn't know that. That was a hot tip.
Some great tips there for you with your Varoma. Absolutely. So we're going in with 30 grams of raw hazelnuts. I've just got some hazelnuts here. Now you could substitute these for almonds, cashews, any other nut. Nut is going to work there. So if you didn't want to buy those, it wants 2 sprigs of fresh flat leaf parsley. I don't really like parsley, to be honest. It's another thing. If you haven't noticed, I'm very fussy. I am very fussy, guys. It's the story of my life. But also parsley's, like, fresh herbs are really expensive. So you could absolutely substitute that for some dried, or just leave it out if you're like me. I just think, I don't know, parsley, it just seems like a waste.
Mixed herbs is nice in there, or Italian herbs, like things like that. Those dried herbs, they're great.
Yeah, spice it up with a bit of dried herbs and mix or something. Parsley's a garnish. I don't know. I just think that. So a little bit of salt and pepper. And then we're going in with 150 grams of camembert cheese quartered. I've prepped all my ingredients and I'm like, well, there's my cheese. I couldn't see my camembert cheese on my bench. So I've just got a block of camembert here, which I'm going to throw in. Now I've got about 125 grams, 130 grams there. So it's not quite the 150, but that's absolutely fine. It's guided cooking. It's not set in stone. So whatever you've kind of got is going to be okay.
Someone commented in the chat about like having nut allergies, but sometimes you can substitute like with seeds as well, like sunflower seeds, pumpkin seeds. If
absolutely.
You can't have nuts.
That is a great suggestion, Nat. So we've got 1 minute on our timer and we're going to turn around to 10 seconds. I'm reading upside down.
Oh yeah, that's my mum in there. She uses a trivet in her Varoma.
I literally said 1 minute and I thought, my goodness, that is a long time to make a pesto. And then I realized I'm reading upside down and it says 10 seconds. So 10 seconds is plenty of time to make a camembert pesto. So there we have that cranberry and
it must smell good.
Cranberry, camembert, hazelnut pesto. It is beautiful.
Wow.
So our next step is to transfer into a bowl and set aside, which I am going to do here.
Imagine taking that as a dish to someone's house or something. They'll think that you slaved away over the stove or did something, super fancy, but to think that you spent 10 seconds with your Thermomix to create something like that is pretty epic.
This recipe gives me like high-end restaurant vibes, I feel. Like this is something that if you really want to impress people, you're going to want to make something like this, like really, really fast and simple, but it really gives that, like high-end feel. So it wants to clean and dry the mixing bowl, but I'm just going to skip past that because I think a little bit of the filling inside the next step is not a big deal at all. So we're going to go back in with some garlic. Again, we're going to double that one because one is not enough. It wants another half of an echalot, which is funny because the half of an echalot before was 30 grams approximately. Half of an echalot now is 60 grams. So we are going to pop that one in.
And echalots are more expensive anyway. Like they're a lot more expensive. I know they're sweeter, but when you're only using that amount, I find onion doesn't really make that much difference.
I think that's such a great point, and I thought I had brown onions that needed to be used, so why would I go and buy something else that's pretty similar anyway? Again, it wants 10 grams of fresh chives. I've just got some dried here, and I'm just going to give it a bit of a sprinkle. If you've ever seen me cook before, you'd know I'm a that'll do, throw it in kind of gal. So
that's why we get on so well.
See, 20 grams of butter. I've gone a smidge over there, but again, that's fine. Then we've got 3 seconds and around to speed 7.
So while that's happening, Charles, I might jump in and my pasta is cooked. Yeah, awesome. My pasta is cooked. So usually you can use your Varoma as a colander, so you can actually use it to drain something. But what I'm going to use today is my steaming basket. Okay, so And this is why we love the design of the Thermomix, because everything has a purpose. There's always something. You can use everything for something. Don't forget to use the back of your spatula as your hook. But there we go. Going to drip everywhere. But that is all my pasta in there. So that's draining off. I'm going to put some cold water on that. And I'm actually going to add 500 grams of boiling water because we're going to continue cooking our eggs and their chicken because that's not quite cooked yet. All right, so we're adding 500 grams of water, pressing next, and lid back on, and the Varoma with the chicken and the eggs will continue to cook.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Teresa, and we'll see you in a little bit to continue your dish. So I just hit the next button, which was just asking me to saute for another 2 minutes there. So we're just sauteing those onions and garlic. While that was happening, I checked the chat, and we had that question around nut allergies. So we talked about some seeds that you could use, sunflower seeds or pepitas. It can be a really great substitute for nuts. Or you could possibly leave it out. It was only 30 grams, so it isn't going to be a massive thing if you did want to leave it out as well. Then Kathy said, saw a tip from a consultant that uses a cookie cutter or small ones to leave more space for steam holes. Yeah, brilliant. That's a great idea too. Like little cookie cutters or even like egg rings, something like that to kind of keep a bit of, move it around and keep a bit of space to make sure your Varoma holes are there. Now, this one here is your Varoma dish. So most recipes will ask you to put something in the Varoma dish. This one here is your Varoma tray. So we've got dish and tray. And when you are cooking, whatever is going to need to be cooked the most or the longest is going to go in the bottom. So any meats or hard vegetables, things like that are going to go in the bottom. And then on your tray is going to be your softer veggies or things that don't need to be cooked as long. You're going to get more steam in the dish than you are the tray. So that's a great thing to remember as well. Longer, more I can't speak tonight. I've been at work all day today and I'm just like, all I've done is talk. My other job is a hairdresser and I talk all day and now I've just got no words left. So whatever needs to be cooked the most in the base, making sure we've got some whole spread available to get that steam through. And then the tray has more vent holes, so you don't need to stress too much about how much you load into that one. All right, so let me go again. So we have done some sauteing there. And then what we're going to do is we're actually going to add 500 grams of water into this one. So we are going to be creating a sauce here. You might think this is a typo, but it's not. So we are creating a sauce, which we are going to cook down in this process. And that is what is going to create our steaming liquid as well. So 500 grams of water in with that. That's why I wasn't too worried about those flavors in there, but that is up to you whether or not you want to wash the bowl in between. Then we're going in with our beautiful vegetable stock paste. Is everyone making their veggie stock paste at home? Pop it in the chat and let us know. And it wants 1 to 2 teaspoons
I love chicken stock paste.
Yes.
I'm a chicken girl too.
I see you guys make chicken stock paste all the time. I am the opposite. I don't make chicken stock. I just make vegetable stock. So this one does ask for 1 to 2 teaspoons of chicken stock. I personally think that our veggie stock is beautiful and it has enough flavor to do.
You can use whatever you have, but don't stress. You know, whatever it says, as long as you use homemade stock paste, that's the most important thing. It doesn't matter which one you have. But
absolutely. Chicken is, I have done it before and it was delicious, but I just thought it was, quite a bit more work and it didn't last quite as long. And I just find I'm quite time poor. So
the veggie's
I make
beautiful.
Veggie stock. Still. It is beautiful. It really is.
Oh, good.
I'm getting ahead of myself there. I saw simmering basket. So insert the simmering basket and then we're going to place in it some potatoes that have been cut to 3 to 4 centimeter pieces. So I have just got my potatoes, which I have cut. They were quite big ones. So I cut them into 3s and then each third I cut into quarters there. So we are going to fill her up with our potatoes at about 400 grams. Now, depending on how big your family is or how many people you're feeding, my kids really like potatoes. So I've gone the higher amount there. And you are able to put as many potatoes in here as you like, as long as you're not above that max fill line. So if a recipe asks for 200 grams of potatoes in your simmering basket, don't be afraid to put some more if that is what you want to do. So now it's asking us to place 3 skinless chicken breast fillets, approximately 300 grams each, onto a work surface. Then slice each breast horizontally, taking care not to cut all the way through. And then fill each chicken breast with our reserved cranberry stuffing. And then insert 1 or 2 toothpicks along the edge of the opening of the breast to enclose the filling. Place them on our Varoma tray, and then we're going to cook them. So, just going to check that did say, yeah, Varoma tray. So we're going to grab our chicken. Now I had kind of 2.5 chicken breasts. Yeah, make sure you can see that. And I have sliced them through. So at about that halfway point, sliced them through. This one, I've just done a really light slice, so I'm going to be able to fold it. And then that one the same there. And we are going to use that beautiful stuff filling that we have made, stuffing, pesto, whatever it is. And we are going to fill our chicken breasts as so.
So gonna try this.
Yeah. Now, this makes quite a lot of the stuffing. I'm probably not going to use it all. So just be careful with the spoon that you're using. If you've got raw chicken on it and you're putting it back in, you probably won't be able to save the rest of that. But I've been quite careful there. And I would actually be able to save that little bit of pesto that is left over. Because I'm not going to fit any more in my chicken breasts. The other thing that you could use would be cooking string if you wanted to. Yeah, that one's not really going to wrap because it's a bit of an awkward size, but that's all right. And then just like so, I'm going to, I should have got my toothpicks ready. Throw some toothpicks through, or like I said, some cooking twine would work too. Like just like that, kind of keeping it together.
I had an idea too. I guess if you're vegetarian, you could always, practice like stuffing butternut pumpkins, zucchini, eggplant,
some
all
big
that
mushroom.
stuff. Like do your veggies.
Love that.
And still have this dish because the pesto's got no meat in it, does it? It's vegetarian.
No, vegetarian. Yeah. So you could absolutely do that. That is a great suggestion. So put them in like so. And that last one, as I said, is a little bit awkward because it wasn't a full chicken breast. She's not going to be the prettiest when it's cooked, but that's okay. If you've ever seen me cook before, you know I do not make good looking food. It is just not something that I have in me.
Is that just toothpicks, Chels?
Yeah, just toothpicks going in like so.
Oh, awesome.
And we've got them like that. And then, so we've got our potatoes in there. We've got our chicken fingers now. It's like your iPhone screen when you got wet hands. You can't touch it. There we go. It goes now. So we are going to pop that one in. And we've got 10 minutes on our Varoma temperature. So remembering our Varoma is an attachment as well as a temperature. Aroma actually means to cook with aromas in French. So, or to steam essentially. So we've got our Varoma temperature, our steaming temperature, and then speed 2. If we hit that preview button, we can see that it wants us to turn our chicken breasts after 10 minutes to ensure they've cooked evenly. And then we'll have another 8 minutes on our timer. So then after that, we're going to add in 150 grams to 200 grams of fresh green beans. Now I'm going to do the turning and the adding of the beans off screen. You could add any other vegetables that you wanted to. I might actually throw some carrots in now while that's steaming. And then the greens normally go in at the end because we like them crunchy, generally with greens. So I will do that. And while I'm doing that, we're going to cut over to Nat and see the most delicious part of the night. And I'll see you all soon.
Indy just asked the question, do you always have to use the tray? You don't. It depends what you're making. So if you're just doing some veggies, you might just use the bottom. Or, if you're doing like things like bayo buns or dumplings, you'll do double layer. But it just depends. If you did, like I do a roast chicken or a pork belly and things like that, or you'll just use the base. So it just depends on the recipe. All righty. Hi, everyone. So my name's Nat and was invited by Chelsea and Teresa tonight to join them. I'm mixing with Natalie on socials. And I've been a consultant for probably about 4.5 years, also a team leader for most of that. I've just come back down to a consultant. I didn't earn mine. I had bought my Thermomix, and then I just started sharing my food online, and it just sort of got to the point people were like, "You with a consultant?" I'm like, "No, just happy to share, happy to share." But you know, eventually, 3 months later, I was like, you know, what have I got to lose? And jumped on and haven't looked back. It's been amazing, lots of experiences. We've got trips and like just lots of goodies, and but the best thing is the friendships. And I know Chelsea says that a lot as well, but meeting some great people. So here we are, and we're going to do now this. I'm doing steamed banana puddings with a honey ginger anglaise, and it is by Matt Sinclair, which is from MasterChef. So it literally is a restaurant quality. It is absolutely delicious. One of the things in the recipe, just a quick tip, is I didn't have any self-raising flour. So, you know, when we talk about how you can have one sugar in your pantry and you can make caster sugar, icing sugar, brown sugar, and things like that, I tend to just have my plain flour. And then what you can do is on Cookadoo, there is a self-raising flour recipe, and it's basically just plain flour, your baking powder, which you tend to always have in the pantry, and a little bit of salt, and you can make your own self-raising flour. So that's what I do, and just have a stash in the pantry. So that's just a little tip. If you don't have any, you can actually make your own. So let's jump in. So we've got our Cookadoo, and we're going to get started. So we're going to make the puddings, and we're going to make the anglaise. Now, with this recipe, I have actually done a half before, and it is fine. So halved, because it makes this many puddings. So if you're not cooking for a lot of people, but they also freeze really well, and they make a nice dessert even without the anglaise, like a banana muffin. So these are from the mix shop. The reason I use these is they fit perfectly in your Varoma. So the first step on here is to pop these in. So you've got a rectangle one, which goes on the top. Now, the reason that you can see that it is actually shorter, it's not as tall as this one, because there's not as much space in the tray. And then you have a round one, they're both at mix shop, so you can see how they fit each bit like that. You can use these for your sticky date puddings, zucchini slice, all different things. They're not just for the pudding, and they just sit. And you can see that when you close it, it still seals really well like that. I bought some from Kmart and other things like that, but they weren't the right size. So these ones will actually fit perfect. So we'll just pop them in there and pop it to the side. And we're going to start doing our cooking. So the first thing is your butter, unsalted. I normally only have salted. We always say to go with it. I just pretty much use salted most of the time. So I pop that in. Yep, 129, close enough. Next. Now, dark brown sugar. Today I've only got normal brown sugar. That is absolutely fine. Sometimes I have the dark, depends what's on sale. But you can actually make your own brown sugar as well. It's basically just sugar and molasses, which you can get in a jar. Mix those two together. There's a brown sugar recipe on Cookadoo, and you can actually make your own brown sugar as well. So, you make a lot of pantry staples, and it saves a lot of money. And you don't need as many things in your pantry as well. So that's one.
And it all counts at the moment. Every dollar counts. I feel like everything's
100%.
so expensive. And if you can just do a couple of things less in your shop, it makes such a significant difference.
Definitely. So now you've just got your butter and your sugar, and we're just going to give that a mix. Let's just pop our lid on. So just it's going to go for 50 seconds on speed 4. So it's basically kind of just like creaming the butter. You can start to hear it change. Yeah, that's good. I don't know if you can see there, it might be a bit dark, but has anyone made this recipe before? Oh, yeah. No? Oh, awesome. Thanks for joining us today. Great to have you. I can see Linda on there as well. It is definitely delicious, especially if you've got people coming over. It's a beautiful dessert to make. Like I said, it's like a restaurant quality. And that anglaise is just amazing. So this is just about done, and I'll show you how it looks. A lot of people wonder whether, you know, making cakes and things in a thermi, but it you can see there that it has creamed it really, really well. Nice and smooth.
Wow.
Doesn't it look
That's
good?
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah. And I find if you find that it hasn't done it well, just scrape it down and do it again. And it works really well. So that is good. Now 3 eggs. Now this recipe uses quite a few eggs. There's 3 eggs in the banana, 6 yolks in the anglaise. So what I do is I save the egg whites. You can obviously freeze them, but I'm going to add them into our zucchini slice, just extra as well, which we'll make tomorrow with the leftovers. Oh, I haven't cracked that one very well. 2 and 3. So now we're going to mix that up again. So it's like having a KitchenAid or a mixer, but you can do that as well. It's another appliance that you don't need. It's just going to go for 15 seconds. I'm just going to peel the bananas while we're waiting. So Chelsea said when we were chatting about the cooking, she was like, which recipe do you want to do? And I was like, I just got a whole lot of extra bananas in my box divvy. I don't know if anyone else does that delivery. And I was like, done. So I haven't shown
I've got lots of bananas.
Hey.
My kids have actually been eating ours lately, and I'd been hanging to make banana bread, and finally on Monday I had some brown bananas, and I was like, it's a miracle I can finally make banana muffins.
Yeah, it's always the way. Now I just want to mix it up a little bit. Normally I scrape the butter before, and I didn't, so that's my fault. But I'm just going to quickly just do 10 seconds. I normally just loosen the butter up a little bit. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, sometimes your kids will eat all the fruit and then you buy them and then they don't, and then they're like, I don't like that anymore. You know?
That's the story of my life.
Yeah.
No, we didn't like
so
that.
There you go. It doesn't look very appetizing, but it's just mixed the eggs with the butter. So we just want to scrape it down. And next, so just our milk. Now, normally I don't have everything all in these little cute little dirty million dishes, but for the cooking class, I've done it to save time. But normally it would just be straight out of the butter packet, straight out of the milk. This just saves us time. So 70 grams of milk. This recipe, you actually pretty much have everything in your house. Good stuff. The only thing I had to buy was the cream. Okay, so let's pop our bananas. So just break them up. They'll normally be pretty soft when you've got some nice ones. And you want to have an extra one because they look really pretty with the slice of banana on the top as they steam. There we go. A little bit more. There we go, 205, close enough. Okay, and now our safe raising flour, which I made. Pretty proud of myself about that one. 200 grams.
No, I'm impressed. I'm impressed.
It's so easy because we always have baking powder, so it's just make it as you need it. Come on. Now, if you're worried about going over with flour, the best tip is tap the container, don't shake forward, and you'll be more accurate like that. It goes in at a more consistent rate tapping. Noisy, but you don't overfill. Okay, so flour before doesn't look very exciting, but it's going to turn it into a batter now. We'll just go next. So just 20 seconds, speed 4. Good. And that's it. That's how easy it is to make a restaurant class MasterChef banana pudding. That's it. There's your batter.
Oh, yum.
That's so good. So you can see there's a little bit of flour. I'll just push it down. Give it a bit of a stir. It's giving it a good mix. You don't want to overbeat because you want it to be light and fluffy. So now we are going to, just going to move this out of the way a bit. Has everyone got one of these glider boards that they make life easy? Oh, so now you just want to divide it. So I just get my spatula, just pop it in. Like I said, it makes a fair bit, but they freeze really well, and you can just have them as banana muffins.
Can you use a little mold, these little molds, the Dario,
I have done that before, and they were too tall.
Too tall?
What happened is I used it down the bottom and at a because I've forgotten this at a demo once, and it didn't cook properly at the top because it rose and sort of hit. Because they're so high, they've risen further tall. Does that make sense? And they didn't cook at the top. So I still use them and just cooked it a bit longer, but it wasn't as easy. Sorry about my dinner. Someone's at the door, I think.
These look so yum. And I said to my husband before, I've got a hankering for some sugar tonight. And now I'm like, ooh.
And I pity we live so far away, Chelsea.
I know.
I know.
If only actually we all couldn't live any further away from each other. Like Nat's in New South Wales, I'm in Gippsland, and he's on the other side of Melbourne. I'm like, we really didn't plan this very well, guys.
We could have had a 3-course meal, girls.
I know.
I'm doing this very messily because I'm trying to do it fast.
Now, Nat, I did just try to find the link for the Varoma molds from the mix shop, but it looks like we don't have the round one at the moment.
Okay, so you can still, the round one you probably get away with something from somewhere else because you've got the height. It's more so this one. I just haven't found one that's nice and flat like that.
Because it's nice and flat. Yeah, it looks like that one is on the mix shop. So let me drop the link to that one in. And then great to know, you'd be able to use a.
I think the round one you should be fine.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I've done it before and I've used 2 round ones before. It just closes. And I did try that before the class tonight in case you couldn't get the other one, but no, you can't even get the round one. So
good to know. Because these I do have these molds as well, and they are very wide. These ones, aren't they? They are very wide and flat. The one I've just dropped in the chat box there.
Yeah, I've tried Kmart and they weren't the right size for it. I couldn't use it.
Yeah.
No. All right, so I think that's as much as we're going to get out. They do rise up. Okay, so let me just pop that to the side. And then you put the cute little slice of banana on each one. And they just come out so good. They just like a little, I don't know if you guys can see. Where are we? Just like a little slice on there. They're so cute. They look great. Wait till you see me pour the anglaise on. Just the real moment. You got to do the, it always goes on Insta as a video.
Well, Nat, when I had my sugar hankering, I ate 2 Oreos, and now I'm really sad that I didn't make some banana puddings because the Oreos really didn't hit the spot. I'm not going to lie. Now I really want some banana puddings. They do not compare. Maybe I'll make some tomorrow night.
So there's our cute little round tray. And then we have that. So then the next part is, once you to clean and dry the bowl, I'm just going to use a second bowl just for time purposes because it's a lot of butter on there. But it's just to put water in. So like Chelsea said, you can even just put the water, you're only steaming. So
there you go. There was 3 of us, all 3 of us. None of us actually cleaned the bowl. So there you go. So
I'm actually going to, you know what? I'm actually going to do it. I'm going to use it and just fill it up. Give me a sec.
And this is why having a second jug is the ultimate. Having that second jug. Or just ignore it and just clean it.
Yeah, you can do everything without the second jug. It just makes it more convenient, doesn't it?
It sure does. Or a third jug. I have 3 jugs, and it baffles me how often I use 3 jugs. I'm always like, what did I do before? Yeah. Sorry, Andy.
I'm just going to fill out. I can't see my 5. My little. There it is. 500 mils. Remember, you got your markings inside your bowl to make it nice and easy. You can see it's still a bit dirty, but it's only going to be steaming the pudding, so I'm not going to stress. Now, pop the lid on. And let's put it back so you guys can see again. There we go. So you have 2 layers of puddings in there. Put your lid on. That is going to go for 18 minutes, speed 2. And what I love about it is you don't have to guess it. You know, when you put it in the oven and you're not sure if they're ready, everything's all timed perfect. And we'll see you soon.
Fabulous. Nat, that looks amazing. Looking forward to seeing your anglaise in just a few minutes. We are going to jump back over to Teresa. My chicken is still steaming. So T, how are you going?
I am good. So I have my pasta all cooked ready there. And I've also, eggs were done as well. So I've cut them up, peeled them. This bowl, mind you, is from the mix shop. This is going to be our dinner snack. We'll see how long. So I can just put the lid on and throw this in the fridge. So there are a stack of 3 from memory. Great little bowl to get. So you can get them from the mix shop. So I've just popped everything in there. Our tenderloins are done, but the recipe did say to chop them up. But Chelsea reminded me, because I do this often as well, is shredding your chicken in your Thermomix is such a time saver. You can buy shredded chicken from the supermarket. Yuck. Like, not yeah, I shouldn't say that, but you know what I mean? Who knows what's on it to keep it fresh and all that kind of stuff, when it takes no time at all in your Varoma and your Thermomix. So once a week, I often cook some chicken breast in my Varoma. I have my water at the bottom, and then I shred it in my Thermomix, and that means I can use it for salads, sandwiches. I throw that as protein in soups and things like that. It's just such a good staple to have in the fridge. So something I do all the time. Now, in order to shred, what we need to do is you need to go onto your main screen and do this manually, I'm sorry. So you need to put it into reverse. So remember, that is just below your speed dial is your reverse, and we're going to go to speed 4. And usually I just listen to it and hear if that's been enough. Let's see. That was only 4 seconds. I might have needed just a little bit more. No, actually, that's perfect. So there you go. You can see it there. But in 4 seconds, that's just shredded my chicken perfectly for my salad, okay? And that will be a much better texture in the salad than big chunks of chicken. So I'm going to pop that in. Where's my spatula? Here. And Chelsea, I might as well finish it up. So, oops, I'm making a mess here. Everything just fell. All right, so there's my salad. I'm not sure if you can see it on the screen. I'm adding some cos lettuce leaves, throwing that in. Some bacon that I fried up earlier, so you can just fry some bacon. Got some parmesan and some spring onions. And of course, that dressing that we made earlier. So it's just a matter of throwing it all together, popping it in. You've got your protein, you've got your carbs, you've got your fats from your dressing. It really is a full dish, okay? It really covers
That'd be great
everything.
meal prep, Teresa. Great for meal prep,
isn't it? Yeah, because you've got your
eggs.
eggs, you've got stacks of chicken in there, you've got your carbs from your pasta, and the dressing and the bacon is kind of like your fats.
Yeah.
I don't know. I always think of all those things. Have I ticked all the boxes? So that's a quick mix. I'm going to pop that into the fridge, but check that out. That looks delicious. Perfect. And that dressing, Yum. Amazing. There's our Caesar salad made using our Varoma all at once, and I'm going to throw all that stuff in the dishwasher. Imagine all the pots and pans without it. Would have used heaps.
That looks fabulous. That is such a great recipe. So easy, fast, and as T said, it ticks all of those boxes, which is brilliant.
Do you want me to get started on the anglaise?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Do you want to? We will jump back to you. Second thermo live. Love it.
Yeah, I know. Now this recipe does. I haven't got coffee logged in, but I can look on that one. 55 grams of sugar. I find it doesn't need that much. Like we just sort of put about 30. I just find it. Otherwise, it's just too sweet. But always, when you make a recipe for the first time, I always suggest make it as per the recipe. Then you know what your standard is, and then you can alter after. Or you can just take our tips. So I do about a tablespoon less, which is about 35. Your tablespoon is 20 grams. I'll do about that. And then we have ground ginger. Now, when I first made this, I was like, 3 teaspoons, that is a lot of ginger, but it's actually not. It actually is the perfect amount for this sauce. Now, these little jars, a little tip, your teaspoon measurement won't fit, but your half teaspoon fits in there, just so you know. So that's just one of those things. So you just need 6 of these because they're half. All the things you discover. You can see I'm pretty, I think Chelsea's the one, we just go with it. It's a guide, isn't it, Chelsea?
It's a guide, that's it. Fake it till you make it, Nat.
That's it. It's going to make a ginger sugar, basically, is what it's doing. It's going to blitz that up. So we're going to pop it to 10 seconds. Or, oh, wait, let me do the... Let me just check for a second. I just don't have my video on the machine. 10 seconds, speed 9. You can see it's actually turning into caster sugar. Did you see that? You can see the magic, what do we call it? The magic dust. Basically, look at that. Turned it into a ginger caster sugar.
Ginger sugar, how yummy. I love like a lemon sugar when you do like a lemon or like a citrus sugar, but a ginger sugar, yum.
Yeah, and that's nice in honey lemon tea, you know, like popping some of that like a lemon tea. It's really good. All right, so now we want to pop our cream in. So it has thickened cream in the recipe. I like the pure only because this one doesn't have any thickness in it. They just don't agree with me. So that is another option. It will still get nice and delicious. So 500 grams, which is basically this whole thing. Well, shorted me 5 grams, but you know, that happens, doesn't it? And then we've got our honey, which was, where are we? Sorry guys, just don't have my cookery on that one. 80 grams. I'll just do that. We've got this organic raw honey thing from Costco. It's so thick. Takes all my muscles. But it's
that always
really
happens
good.
to me.
Yeah, it's really good, but it's just so thick.
Can I just say, if anyone ever second guesses the quantity that the Thermomix makes, this bowl is massive. And the amount of food I've just made, like, I'm just thinking, how are we going to get through all of this? So, you can never second guess how much a Thermomix can produce, honestly. That's
especially with the Varoma, because you can really bulk it out, you know?
Yeah.
On top. So we've got 6 egg yolks. I've already cracked them already, just to save time. And like I said, I'm going to use the egg whites in a zucchini slice, but you could make pavlova. You could do a whole lot of different things. You could search on Cookadoo for ingredients, so you could actually search egg white and find recipes to utilize that as well. And that's it. So now we're going to cook it. So those are before, not very exciting. It's sort of like a milky mass. Pop that in, and that's going to go for 7 minutes on 90 degrees. You could probably even use the thickening mode, but this recipe is for all models, so they've done it as well. There you go.
Perfect. Excited to see how that one goes. And absolutely using that thicken mode in the TM6 is a great way to do that. So we are nearly finished over here. I've got a couple of minutes left steaming the chicken, but what I'm going to do is the next step does want you to finish it off on the stove if you would like. So you can finish your chicken breasts off on the stove to give them a little bit of browning. Which is a nice way to add a little bit of extra flavor to it. I did just check them and they did need probably a couple more minutes cooking. And normally I wouldn't do them on the stove. I don't really feel that necessary, but I do want to get the sauce on for you guys to see. So I might pop these in the pan for the last 2 minutes and then we can get our sauce happening. Great tip with your Varoma is flip your lid upside down and use it as a drip tray. Your Varoma, the steam will drip out of the bottom of it if you put it on the bench. So you've got a perfect drip tray like that. And I did add some carrots in there as well.
So I took my potatoes out a couple of minutes ago because they looked perfect. As Teresa said, using your simmering, but your spatula as a handle for your simmering basket. So my potatoes are cooked. I'm going to pop my chicken on the stove in just a moment, as the recipe says. So this is asking you to keep the potatoes warm in the thermosurfer, and then cooking that for a couple of minutes each side on the stove, and then retain steaming liquid in mixing bowl. I'm going to add 20 grams of white wine. I've got my really fancy cask of wine here. Please don't judge me. I do not drink cask wine. Well, maybe if I'm desperate. No, I buy this for cooking because it's about $10 for a cask. I broke my lid though, which is a bit annoying. And it doesn't go off because it's in the goon bag. The goon bag keeps it nice and fresh. So don't be afraid
Taking me back to my
use.
teenage years there, Chel.
I know.
Aren't we? Nat, do not hang it on the clothesline, okay? But they are a great option for cooking. So I just keep that in my pantry. It
Oh, that's
stays
a
in the
great
pantry.
tip, Chel.
Perfect
I'm
for
gonna
cooking
do
and
that.
super cheap. It's honestly $10 for 4 liters. So it lasts me ages. We're going in with 2 tablespoons of plain flour. You could use corn flour if you needed that to be gluten-free. It wants 3
But not
teaspoons
yet.
of English mustard. I'm a big, what's that, Nat?
Oh, sorry, my daughter just came in. I'm just going to get mute.
Oh.
Sorry, Chel.
And yeah, it's okay. I've got Dijon mustard instead of English because that's what I have in my fridge. And again, I'm not going to buy a type of mustard that I wouldn't use again. So 3 teaspoons of Dijon. Don't be shy. We're a big mustard loving household. If you are too, do not be shy. Go hard. And then it wants 2 teaspoons of ground horseradish. I don't even know what ground horseradish is, so we just skip past that one. And 2 teaspoons of seeded whole grain mustard as well going in. So nice and mustardy, this sauce. And then a little bit of salt and pepper, which I put away because I thought I was done. Here we are. So 1 to 2 pinches of salt to taste, and same with pepper. And then it says without the measuring cup. So leaving our measuring cup out can help to thicken it. Don't stress about that. That's a bit of kind of chicken that's come through the Varoma. You can scrape that off. And then we've got 4 minutes on 100 degrees and around to speed 3. So that is going to cook away there for the next couple of minutes to thicken nicely. And then I'm going to pop my chicken onto the stove just to finish off. And then we're going to transfer mustard sauce onto a serving jug, and then remove our toothpicks from our chicken breasts, cut each breast in half, and serve immediately with potatoes, green beans, and mustard sauce. So this is such a yummy dish. Really excited to show you my end result in just a minute. Nat, how long have we got of the anglaise left?
We've got 3 minutes on that and 5 minutes on the pudding, so we're not too far behind.
Perfect. So we've got
Rochelle was put in the comments how we use what we have. That's probably the 3
Yeah.
of us
Oh,
told you that, I
absolutely.
think.
Yes.
Just go with it. Go with what you got. Yeah.
I
Not
feel
what you
like
got.
cookie
really
dough is very
important.
forgiving. It's very forgiving,
Yeah.
cookie dough. Like, you know, close enough is good enough in a lot of the recipes. It's okay to use whatever you have on hand. Yeah, absolutely. Not an issue.
And you can
at
still
all.
taste test as you go, even though you're in the thermi. Don't be scared to taste test. You know, well, if you do make changes and stuff, so you learn your way. And
Absolutely.
even what's really good too is if you have the TM6 with your Cookadoo 3.0, Cookadoo recipes, you can actually resave them as your own version. So the Skinny Mixes Bolognese on Cookadoo doesn't have vegetables in it, and I know, Chelsea, you always load yours with veg. I've seen on your Insta. So
Yep.
I actually saved my own version of that on Cookadoo, so I still get guided cooking, but I don't have to remember. And if someone else does the recipe in the house, it's in there with all the veggies and everything. So if you haven't done that yet, you can actually create your own version of a Cookadoo recipe and save it.
That's a really great tip, because I find I make a lot of changes to my recipes. And yeah, if my husband's cooking, he doesn't know what, he's not quite sure what to do. So I actually need to do that as well. For me, it's kind of second nature. But yeah, when you've got someone else in the kitchen, then you do want to be able to have that option for them to know how to do it. So Cookie Do 3.0 is a great idea there. Yeah. Love that.
And my husband always whinges because he'll say, "How did you make that last time?" And I'm like,
yeah,
I don't know. So
I don't know.
Now it makes me add it in there, and then I can't forget.
That's it, definitely. This smells absolutely amazing. So it's smelling really, really great. I'm using my oval thermoserver here to keep my potatoes and veggies warm. So our thermoservers are one of our host rewards. So a big thank you to anybody who invited some guests along tonight. We will be in touch with you later on once we've been through our registration.
and we could have a chat to your guests and then sort out your host rewards as well. But if you are interested in hosting your own cooking experience, we do also have our amazing cutter available as a host reward right now for a limited time running through till about mid-August. So please chat to your consultant or send one of us a message, and we would love to help you out hosting either an in-person or a virtual cooking experience. Get your hands on something like a thermo server. These ones can't be purchased. They are host rewards only, or of course something like the cutter. The cutter is finally back in stock. If you've been waiting to get a cutter, they are available to purchase. Yay! It was a long couple of years. But we do also have an option of getting one cheap or for cheaper or down, all the way down to $19 if you host a cooking experience. So please reach out if you'd like any more info. And I know Teresa mentioned earlier, she joined our team to earn at Thermomix when we had our first round of Earn 4 quite a few years ago, which just meant Earn 4 means you can earn a Thermomix in just 4 sales instead of 6 sales, which is our normal standard. So that was when T joined all those years ago, and it is something that we have running again at the moment. So if you've ever thought about earning a Thermomix, second Thermomix, first Thermomix, whatever it is, TM6, please reach out and we'd love to give you a little bit more information about that. But it's an amazing way to get a Thermomix paid for or crazily discounted as well. So I've got just a couple of seconds on my sauce there.
Look at that. I don't know if you can see, but it's actually just this silky, delicious anglaise. But anglaise is like a fancy, it's actually like a chef term for, it's like a custard, but it's actually a more runny, smooth, silky version. It's like the restaurant version of a glaze. So I'll grab a spoon and show you. Oh my goodness. You guys have to make these. I'm going to show you the texture of it.
Oh my gosh.
But I will taste test for you because that's just what we do. And I'll let you know. It's been so long since I've made this. It is so good.
You're just rubbing it in, Nat. Rubbing it in.
Yeah, I know.
And if you like,
why did I pick the Caesar salad? Maybe I should have picked
should have picked the dessert.
I should have.
If you like really sweet, do the whole sugar because it will, if you like prefer it. But yeah, we just like it. Oh, wait till you see it pour onto the pudding. I'll do that. These puddings have 45 seconds to be able to see it. All right, guys.
Amazing. I feel like
sticky date pudding is another Varoma one. Oh, sorry, Charles.
Yeah.
I was going to say sticky date pudding is another one. I'll stop. Go. You go.
This is the joys of a virtual cooking class. We do tend to do this. Sorry, Teresa.
That's okay.
I was just going to say, I feel like this recipe is going to end up in the most cooked next week, Nat. I feel like everyone on the class tonight is going to make these banana puddings. Tell us in the chat box, are you adding the banana puddings to your weekend meal plan or any of these recipes? Are you adding any of these into your meal plan?
Let's get all 3 on there.
Let's make it viral, guys. Let's get it viral. Let's get it on that list.
Someone said yes, all of them. Oh, here we go. Surprised my hubby hasn't come down yet. Like, I'll do a class and then he can in our old house. Yeah, his office was off the kitchen and you'd hear the door beeping, smell it. Oh, look at these guys. Let's check this out.
Oh my goodness.
Can you see that?
They're gorgeous. They're perfect.
See how nice and fluffy? And I'll show you the second layer. They still pop up. See the second layer. Oops, it's a bit fuzzy. Hang on, I'm going to grab it out so I can show you that Steve's getting it. Remember, like Chelsea said, use the base of your Varoma lid to catch it. I've got 2 here, so I'm just going to pop this one over here. And I'm going to show you these ones. So this is why this round one is good. You can see that they're puffed up beautifully as well. So I'm going to plate up and show you what I like. The good thing too with these silicone is they don't stick. You don't even need to grease them. It'll just
the silicone stuff is amazing.
Isn't it?
I bought all the silicone trays from the mix shop. I just love that I don't have to oil or grease anything. I just throw it all in, pop it out. It is the ultimate.
It's the best. Just let them sit for a second. Like, that's the one trick, is you don't want to pull them out as soon as they come out. You just need to let them release themselves from the side. If you find that your stuff is sticking to silicone, we're just a bit too excited to get into our puddings. All right, let's grab this one out. A bit hot. Hang on a sec. I'm going to pop it in the bowl. So we've got our cute. I'm going to put the camera down a bit so you can see. There we go. All right. Oh, and the other thing that I love, if you're going to be serving these and you want to keep them hot, now if anyone's got this, it is a thermoserver version of a jug, of a like gravy boat, custard, anglaise. Look at that. That's how much it makes. It won't even fit in there. All right. Are you ready?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
I know. I know. How good does that look? A little banana on the top. I will show you the inside of the pudding. It is so fluffy. See if I can show you. Can you see that?
Oh,
Perfect
yum.
winter dessert. What a nice winter dessert is that?
Yeah, it's so light and fluffy. And it does taste pretty good too, I'll tell you.
It's your best.
I'll have another one. So
They
there you
look
go.
amazing, Nat.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You make 13 from that.
That's huge. Huge. T, yours served 8, I think. Your pasta salad from memory.
Oh, easy. Yep.
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 Nat's made 13. I mean, I'm going to call that a half because I reckon in our house we definitely eat a double serve of those each. But we'll call it 13 if we're sticking to that. And then mine also could serve 8 as well. So we have absolutely cooked for a crowd tonight. I am back over here just going to quickly dish up. So I finished that off in the pan. I would have just kept that steaming until it was cooked through. But the recipe does say that you can if you like. And then here we have the most beautiful mustard sauce. Look at that.
Oh, that looks so
I've got
good.
my chicken with that insane cranberry camembert. That's a lot of C's, cranberry camembert stuffing. And then we are going to just give it a little, we'll go on the potatoes. And as I said, I added the carrots as well.
Yum.
So I put my carrots in straight away when the meat went into steam, and then I added my greens for that last 5 minutes. So if you do need to increase your cook time on your chicken, take your potatoes out because they'll probably be cooked already, and we don't want to overcook them and end up with mashed potatoes. So take your potatoes out and keep your chicken cooking for as long as you need. We can finish it up in the pan last couple of minutes, add a bit of browning. But how does that look, guys? Do you think that's something that you would like to make in your household? We did pop the recipe links in the chat for you there as well.
Another full meal. You know what I mean? Full.
Yep.
And I meet a lot of people that are like, oh, I'm not sure if Thermomix would be for me because we eat meat and veg in our household. So I'm like, well, that is an amazing meat and veg meal. If you are somebody that likes that style of cooking, completely made in the Thermomix, less mess, less stress, and cheaper as well because you're cooking that sauce and steaming your meat and veg at the same time. So absolutely amazing.
Definitely.
So just a quick, we have seen all of our dishes tonight. So would like to just wrap up and say a huge thank you to each of you for coming along to our Varoma cooking class. Pop in the chat and let us know which recipe are you going to be trying first. Did you learn some new tips and tricks about your Varoma? And do you feel that your Varoma is something that you are going to use a little bit more now thanks to our class tonight? We really love teaching you guys how to get the most out of your Thermomix. So I really hope that it has helped. I'd love to shout out to Nat and Teresa for coming along tonight and helping with this class. We don't get paid to run these classes. We do them because we really want to make sure that you guys are getting the most out of your Thermomix. So huge thank you to the girls for giving up their time, and a massive thank you to all of you for coming along. So please remember to follow us all on social media. You can find me at Mixing It Real on Instagram and Facebook. Teresa is Thermoterea. T, are you on Instagram and Facebook?
Yep, both.
Yeah, both. And Nat is Mixing with Natalie on Instagram. And are you on Facebook, Nat?
Yep, both.
Yeah, and both as well. So you can jump along and follow us. Please send us a message if you have any questions about hosting a cooking experience, joining the team, purchasing a TM6, whatever
sending your photos
be.
if you cook. Send us your photos.
Yes. Share your photos
so we can
for
share
sure.
them for you.
Yes, please send them through to us or post them and tag us because we love seeing what you guys are making, especially if we have given you a little bit of inspo. So again, a huge thank you. Oh, I'm trying to add us all to the spotlight. A huge thank you to you. Yes. A huge thank you to each of you for coming along.
tonight, and we hope you loved it. And we will be back for more cooking classes in the future. So please stay tuned. And thank you so much, everyone.
Gonna get a screenshot of us girls. Hold your food up.
Yes.
Hold it up.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. I just closed my phone. Hang on. Ready? Okay, go. Oh, I'm not very. See, for someone
you
who's
get it?
quite tech savvy. No.
Otherwise,
no,
I can do
All
it. Oh, you got it? I was going to say I can do it on my computer.
Ready, go.
Otherwise.
Yep. Here we go.
Got
1,
it?
2. Got it.
Amazing.
Computer too, if you want, Chels, just to make sure.
Yeah, I'll do one. All right, just to make sure. Here's us just taking our pictures. All right. Stay Varoma.
Varoma.
Perfect. Awesome.
Thanks, girls. That was fun.